All right, guys, I am super excited to have today to have Malik Love. Been crushing these strong point leads. Um, Dude, man, I'm so excited to have you on today. How you been,
Man, all good, all good. Just staying consistent, staying in the office, believing in the team. That's definitely what it takes for sure.
man? Love it, bro. Dude, yeah, talk about your kind of your journey using these digital mortgage leads, because obviously, right, like we've all worked the regular mortgage leads. And obviously, like anytime you transition to a different lead, right? It's a totally different, like you got to learn the ins and outs and kind of like, okay, what do I need to switch up? How do I best work leads? How do I contact them, right? So if you kind of walk me through kind of your journey of working the digital mortgage leads and kind of how it's changed your business.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, I started just like you said, mailers. Definitely worked the heck out of those, which built, a great foundation. And then switching into digital leads, complete different ball game. Customers that, are very high intent. They're also exclusive leads as well. So that's one big thing that I absolutely love about the leads. I can always go back and forth throughout the pack and these, families are still ready to go. Maybe sometimes it might not be the best time. You wait a week, give them a call, and you're right back in there helping a family. So having availability that quickly, not running out. I know everyone knows, the shortness of mailers right now coming in. So
Yeah,
switching over to something like this on a digital lead, I mean, it makes all the sense for sure.
love it. What was some of your kind of hurdles early on with working a digital mortgage lead that you kind of like had to figure out?
Yeah, that's good. I would say, I think in my presentation, I kind of let like my barrier down. Like, I wasn't like the mortgage protection guy. Like, with the digital lead, you get Malik Love on the phone. It's a good conversation. A lot of these people that I've met through the leads, I'm involved for the rest of their lives. They'll come out and fly out to San Diego, or if I'm in town, I'll stop by and see a client. So that's for sure what I'm most grateful for.
Love it. So you're building relationships with these people. Like it's not
Hmm.
just a regular like, here's how it works. It's you're really kind of getting a little bit more personal with them.
Hmm.
A
That's
personable.
just my style. Yeah, that's just my style. I mean, definitely don't force a connection. If the
Yeah.
connection is there, definitely, you can build some rapport there. But just being yourself, you don't have to go on. I'm super transparent on the phone. A lot of the clients know a lot about me just from, me sharing stuff through, the financial inventory, things about my life. That's just how I go about it. Also for sure, I would say one thing I switched up. Which is being, a real person with them. If I'm asking about, their surgeries or stuff like that, I'll usually ask, like how was the rehab, or, how was the process? Was anyone home when you had the heart attack, or something like that? That just makes it feel more real. And yeah.
Love it. I think the big thing, I guess, step one, right? Like, how are you contacting these, right? Like, I know
Mhm.
speed to lead is important. What is kind of like your process from the time the lead comes in? Like, are you sending them a text message, calling them? What does that look like?
Yep. So as soon as they come in, I'm at least making contact. Now, if they come out at night, if I am up, I'll usually send them a text. Usually want to get to those as soon as possible. But if I don't get to them at night, say the request came in late, well, I'll just give them a call first thing. And I'll split the leads into anyone about 65 and up. I'll usually give them a call, during the daytime around 10, 11 a.m. So I usually, hit those clients during the daytime. And then after work for anyone, 65 and under, that's what I'm usually giving a call right at that, 4:30, 3:30, 4:30 mark, right when they're getting off of work. So I'm able to get in there and in one call close. Now, one thing I did change for sure. Well, I've always been a one call closer, so that's why I want to call you at a specific time just to make sure I can get you your options, get you closed out, the family protected. So one call closing for sure. I would definitely harp on for anyone looking to work these leads.
Love it. Yeah. Um, what does that first text message kind of sound like?
It's pretty short and simple, just a little template. So just say, this is Malik with the Mortgage Protection Department. We did receive your request for coverage. So and so listed as the beneficiary. I have 3 and a 5:30 p.m. available. Let me know what works best for you and the family. And I'll usually send like my contact card that'll have all my state license information, so they can quickly reference and validate who I am.
Love it. Okay. So right from that get-go, kind of reaching out, let them know who you
Mhm.
are, building a bit of credibility with your contact stuff. So,
Yep.
but
Hmm.
um,
I can
and
hear
then
you.
yeah, when you do get them on the phone, what is your process kind of like?
Oh yeah. So if I do get them on the phone, it's Malik Love, the Mortgage Protection Department. We did receive your request. Looks like, Doreen listed as the beneficiary. Is that correct? Okay, gotcha. And then, I did have you at 69 years young. I never say the old word.
Yeah,
69 years young. Okay, perfect. I'm the underwriter assigned to go over those options with you. I'm just gonna send over my state license information. Let me know when you receive this. So it's definitely super important. Always, before you even ask them anything about anything process, send them your information first. You'll be a lot better off that way for sure.
love it. Okay. Um, and then what is the kind of like the expectations you're setting with a client early on in the appointment? Are you doing anything to kind of like set up the sale?
Um, oh, in terms of like building the value during the presentation or
Just as far as like, hey, like, explain to them how the appointment's gonna go,
mhm.
like right from the get-go, or
Right from the get-go. I never like the client to be on the other end kind of wondering, what's going to go on throughout this process. So as soon as I share my information, I let them know the whole process that we'll be going to. And then I'll always stop and then I'll ask, do you have any questions? I just want to make sure we're on the same page there. Because not stopping and making sure that, they didn't have any questions, well, you might get an objection later on that you could have addressed from the very get-go. So that'll lead you to a smooth presentation by letting them know everything up front, checking if they have questions, and then go ahead and proceed into the presentation.
love it. Okay. Uh,
Hmm.
so going through what is your so if you're having an older client, how are you kind of like overcoming like if they just want like they're thinking like the whole house is paid off?
Oh, okay. This happens often. So a client that might be a little bit older and they want the whole mortgage paid off.
Right.
Yeah, you do get that a lot. But at the same time, it's understanding, what's really important because we're not looking to, sell them too much insurance that they don't actually need. If it's, a term, it's a 10-year term. Well, most people outlive those terms, even if you are covering the full mortgage. So I'll usually show both sides of the spectrum. So I usually give them a term if they can qualify. And then I'll show them, permanent options to where even though they're paying down that mortgage, they'll still have something permanent that won't expire. I think I can build the value really well in that aspect.
Love it. Okay. Of just payments that would come in after basically to
Hmm.
ensure the family gets the home or the equity.
Right. And always, and that's why I always show both sides because I mean, at the end of the day, it's not what I think. So I show both sides of the spectrum, and then I think that gives me a stamp on my game because it lets them decide, what would be best for the family because we want to get it out of their mouth. What comes out of their mouth is gold. So.
Love it. How do you get them to close like and make it and like do you do callbacks at all or are they basically most of the time you're just closing down right then and there?
Most of the time I'm closing it right there. However, I do close a lot on callbacks too. And what's important about the callbacks, you want to make sure that they understand exactly what's going on because sometimes, clients will tell you, oh yeah, just call me back at this time, but maybe they had questions or concerns that weren't addressed. So the only time I'll book a follow-up is if they understand the coverage, they know it's something comfortable for them, and maybe they do need to, talk to the spouse or anything like that. Which brings me to my next point. I don't run one leg appointments unless I'm speaking with the wife because the wife always makes the decisions. I don't care what the husband says. Definitely always try to schedule both the husband and wife that way. You're presenting the value yourself rather than, you telling them and then they go and tell their spouse. Well, at third party, there's probably some disconnect during that conversation.
Sure. Okay. So even
Hmm.
so that's where so if you do get like if you do a one call close,
Hmm.
if the spouse isn't there, you're kind of rescheduling that one.
Yeah, I
Like
usually reschedule them. And if I do have to run the one leg with the husband, which no problem, I'll usually ask specific questions. Are you going to be okay to make a decision without, first speaking with the wife? Do we need to have the spouse present for the call as well? Just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So that's the only time I'll usually just shoot for an appointment just so I can get both of them in.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'm just gonna one call close them.
Love it. Okay.
Mhm.
What are some other tips you think that have kind of like changed the game for you and helped you like from when you started to like
Mhm.
kind of that progression of, I mean, every day I see you at least posting a couple every single day. Like you guys are tearing it up.
Yeah, once you get in the feel of it, I mean, exclusive leads are honestly the best digital for anyone that's working mailers right now. You definitely got to get involved with it. Let's see any more tips. Man, just staying consistent, being yourself. And then also if you are booking an appointment, well, you need to find, I usually ask questions like, you tell me this time, are you off this day? Or I usually find days that they are off. So if I'm not able to reach them, well, I already know I have notes down on the side. Well, I can call them at this time because they're off, or they get off of work this time. So I'm always taking specific notes that way, just so I can make sure I can find exact times that they're going to be able to, listen and be on the same page with me.
Love it.
Hmm.
Do you do these over the phone or over Zoom?
All over the phone.
All
Yeah,
over.
all over the phone. However, I will offer Zoom if it's like if the customer, is a little bit shaky on the conversation. Hey, no problem. We can hop on a quick Zoom call just to make sure everyone's on the same page. And definitely avoiding a lot of objections by letting them know everything up front, checking if they have questions, and then proceeding into something for them. Also too, I never really overprice them. So that way, I'm setting myself up for something in the future because they usually go with an option that's comfortable or even a lower option. That way, when we check in at that year mark for that policy review, well, now they're probably going to end up adding on coverage, and they usually let me know like during the presentation, hey, I'll probably be adding on coverage. So I'm doing my due diligence to get them something comfortable, and then if something changes financially, we can always bump that coverage up for
Yeah. Can you kind of walk me through when you're showing the numbers? Like,
them.
can you kind of like walk me through your word tracks of like, hey, as far as you're showing them both a term and a whole life, can you kind of
Hmm.
walk me through how you're presenting that to the client
100%.
and your word
Yeah,
track?
for when I'm presenting both, I mean, even if I'm not presenting both options, I'll let them know exactly, why they didn't qualify for the term. I don't think I was as good as I am now with that. And it gives them a lot of perspective. Hey, how come we can't get the whole mortgage coverage? Well, I'm super transparent, letting them know exactly what condition or what medication was holding them back for the term, and then build the value to the permanent. Um, Sorry, I'm circling around. Can you ask one more time? I
Yeah,
was,
kind of like how are you presenting when you're doing both the term and whole life, you're showing both
uh,
options. I think that's really good. I don't think many people do that, and so I kind of am interested in kind of hearing how you present that.
Okay, yeah, I don't think so either. So I'll let them know during the client worksheet when I'm, just kind of gathering some intro information. I usually let them know, hey, there's two ways that we go about covering the mortgage. If we were looking on the term side, the term, of course, is short for terminate, so it'll cover you for a set period of time. Now on the term side, those programs usually have higher death benefit amounts to be able to cover full entire mortgage balances. And then on the flip side, we also have a permanent option. It's not going to pay down the whole mortgage, but it will provide, time to mourn, time to grieve. But what it's going to do is going to provide that cushion period of time to where the home is continuously paid, and it's not lost to the bank there. So on the permanent side, there's no expiration date. You also be building a cash value on this side. So every time you pay in, you'll be earning that compounded interest that'll just continue to build and build. So two sides of the spectrum. I'll kind of, pick your brain and see, what would be best for the family. So presenting it like that, I feel like it always gives me a stamp on my game because they'll let me know after, hey, thank you for, giving me both sides of the spectrum. And then they'll usually pick whatever will be most comfortable for them from there.
Okay, so you kind of hit that up, and then right there, then after that, you go right into the numbers.
Yeah, so that conversation I mentioned, I'll usually do that when I'm gathering information. So I kind of already like
I
pre-primed
got you.
them.
Okay, love it.
And then yeah, when I get to the end, hey, first of all, we're gonna be taking a look at the term. This will cover you, for the next 15 years. I'll read all the program benefits, and then I'll introduce the options. I usually do like a platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. The platinum will be like the max out, just so they can see what the max coverage they can get. And then boom, I'll switch to the permanent side right after. I'll do the same thing, read all the benefits, address the options in that platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. And then once they have everything written down, that's also a good tip too. I have them write every single thing down, benefits, options. That way it's right in front of them. They
Yeah.
can see it clearly. There's no, confusion there. And then, after they've got everything written down, I'll usually ask them, hey, now, were you thinking the term might be a better fit for you, or were you looking for something permanent that's not going to expire on you? I was looking for something permanent. Okay, gotcha. And then, out of these options we have here, I just want to find whatever's most comfortable and affordable. Keep in mind we can always add on coverage later. We just want to put something, on minimum in place to where the family is protected with those living benefits. Okay. So out of those, four options, we're taking a look at what do you think would be the most comfortable for you and the family there? And then
Okay.
don't say another word. Even if it's quiet for like the next 2 minutes, do not say another word. You really want to hear, if they have any questions. Sometimes you'll hear like, conversation between them and the spouse just fine. As long as you stay quiet, hear them out. I think another that just brought me so another tip for the strong point leads. Um, I think my presentation really elevated when I became a better listener. I think when I first started, I was I was trying to run the whole present, which we do run the whole presentation, but in terms of the feel of it, if it can feel like they have some of the power and then we're kind of assisting them with that, it's a lot better conversation. So always checking if they have, questions, stuff like that. I think that's what took me to the next level, like a teacher level, is becoming a better listener. Because I think I was missing that when I first got started.
Yeah. I love your approach to it. It's like the Build-A-Bear of mortgage protection. You're
Yeah.
having them like, right, customizing, you're listening to them and you're building the program. But like you said, like if it's coming from their mouth, it's gold, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
you're taking their ideas and like helping them along. So at the end, it's like it's not of like it's not that weird sales tension.
Hmm.
It's this is the product you built. This
Yep.
is but then you're customizing it to
Hmm.
fit your budget, to fit your needs, and then we're just helping you through the process. I love your approach to it. That's gold, man.
100%.
Yeah. Um, yeah, this has been really good. Anything else that you can think of right off that is another thing that you do? Because I think that's where a lot of the agents struggle is
Hmm.
because when they're getting pushback with um like routing and account numbers or something like that. It's at the end of the day, they're just not wanting to go through with it, is most time what I kind of found out. But it's
Yeah,
because it's not really like there's some hesitancies why they're not like giving that information. But if they
100%.
built the program, right, like it's I think it's a more of a easier transition when you're asking for all the information because now it's okay. Now my job is to help you get approved now.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, any sort of objections, usually I can skate around them in the beginning because I do address every single thing. I want to make sure we're on the same page before I even proceed. Um, and then also let's see what else would be best for them. I mean, we talked about contacting them early. Um, Not running one leg appointments if unless it's the wife. All those sort of things, really add up when you come into the presentation. And just be yourself. I mean, honestly, I think the tonality that comes across in my voice when I get on the phone with the client, the sale's made in the first like 15 to 20 seconds. So on my spreadsheet, I'm already in my head turning the line light blue, and that's the one call close trigger for me, just so I can kind of already get in that mentality. Hey, we're taking care of this now. We're finding something comfortable. And then after the presentation, they usually, end up thanking me. I do send CMOS out to clients that are families that are protected. So not only, we're looking out for them, on the living side and after they pass, well, I want to make sure that they, live, for the next 20, 30 years. So I'm sending them CMOS. They don't expect that they're getting anything from me.
Yeah.
Um, so when they see that they have CMOS, I mean, it has a whole like nutritional fact for it. It basically flushes all the toxins out of your body. So when they see that, they'll usually call me back, thanking me so much. Strong Point, I don't have a referral script, but I do get a lot of referrals from Strong Point.
Okay.
Just from being, myself on the phone. A lot of clients, can really, really vibe with that. So I usually, hey, after I get off the phone, hey, I actually, Malik, I got a family or I got a cousin or brother or sister that also, wants to go ahead with the mortgage protection or something like that. And I'll usually, bring referrals that way. Just being yourself.
Yeah. Dude,
Hmm.
I love it. It's because it's again, it's a different approach from, you know, the normal mortgage
Yeah.
protection, right? Where it's just more of a process.
Hmm.
less of building rapport,
Right.
and this is more of, again, more of a sales process, I think. uh
Hmm.
Again, you're people buy from people they trust and they like, right? And I think
Yep.
you obviously are checking those boxes every single time, and you're leaving, with a client, but also a friend for life, it sounds like. So
Heck yeah.
like referring you like crazy. So I love what you're doing there, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely appreciative. That I mean, this digitally have totally changed the game. I mean, I definitely looking back, I'm like, oh man, I can't go back to what I was doing before just because I love it so much.
Yep.
And you guys have been, definitely a great help for us and the team. Having agents come in and being able to work digital leads in the first like couple weeks has really changed the game. I've had a couple agents that, came in and closed 11 out of 12 presentations on their first, pack of Strong Point.
That's
So I know it's working for sure.
Yeah. Do you give them a script to follow, or kind of how do you like help them like get up and going so quickly? Because that's a huge, for an agent to see that type of money when they first start is
Yeah.
like, it's insane.
I do have a script that I have most of the agents running. The script is completely dialogued all the way through like the client worksheet, so they don't have to like bounce around. They're asking specific questions. I even have the closes on there for them. So I do have my own script that the agents are using. It just helps them, when they're first transitioning, so they don't have to think of everything and they can kind of relax a little bit. It's right there on the paperwork,
Yeah.
so that they're able to get in there and succeed.
Awesome, man.
Hmm.
Well, I love this. It's been phenomenal. I
Thank
know you're
you.
building a team now. If someone's watching the video and wanted to work with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Usually best case to get a hold of me right now is I'm heavy on Instagram. That's I'm just got into like running ads, stuff like that. So I have a lot of people reaching out that way. But yeah, definitely Instagram for now. I think I get a lot of traction on that.
Love it, man. Well, I'm reach out to you, Malik Love.
333 Ashe.
Yeah, awesome, man. Well, hit him up, dudes. It's been gold, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Appreciate you pouring into uh,
Thank you.
all the listeners, and so look forward to seeing you crush it, dude.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the help.